In this video series, you'll learn everything you need to know about the Phantom 3 Advanced and the Phantom 3 Professional. Follow along with us as we go from unboxing all the way to your maiden flight. We'll go over the basics so you can enjoy your new flying camera. But first of all, we'd like to thank you for choosing the Phantom 3. Our amazing designers and engineers have spent countless hours to bring you the latest in DJI technology so you can have an enjoyable experience. And remember, feel free to pause the video at any time and follow along with your own unboxing at home. All right, here we have the Phantom 3 Advanced, and here the Phantom 3 Professional. Both have all the same features other than the resolution of the camera, so for this tutorial video, I'll be going over it with the Professional model. And here's the aircraft. Each aircraft comes with an integrated gimbal and camera. Lens protection and gimbal clamp have been installed for protection during transport. Make sure you remove the gimbal clamp before every flight. You can reuse it for transport and storage. There's also a film to protect the lens. You can remove this now as well and discard the plastic piece. Now, note that each motor should have a warning label attached to it. The DJI Intelligent Flight Battery is pre-installed with an instructional sticker. All right, next we have the remote controller. And here is 2 sets of 4 propellers in an included soft bag. Each set has 2 silver and 2 black indicated propellers. 2 with a black indicator for clockwise rotation, and 2 with a silver indicator for counterclockwise rotation. Here's your charger box, which includes the charger and power cable, as well as your micro USB cable. Next, your accessory box. Now the bag inside this box includes your propeller wrench, spare landing pads, spare dampeners, and your anti-drop kit. And here we have the manuals, which include the quick start guide and the safety guidelines and disclaimer documents. Lastly, we have stickers, so you can choose your own color: gold, silver, red, and blue. All right, now that we've checked that everything's in the box, let's take a closer look at the aircraft itself. Now the Phantom 3 is known as a quadcopter because it is a 4-rotor aircraft. Here are the 4 motors: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Front left, front right, rear left, and rear right. Make sure to read the warning labels before removing them. Now your front stickers. These are your pre-installed front stickers on the front arms, which allows you to see the aircraft's orientation. Your front LEDs. These are your front LEDs, which light up red when the motors are spinning and also let you know the aircraft's orientation. Your landing gear. This is your landing gear, which protects your gimbal and camera when you land. How about your gimbal? Right here, this is a 3-axis gimbal. It stabilizes and lets you tilt the camera up and down. Now the camera. This is the camera on the Professional version that shoots 4K and 12 megapixel photos. On the Advanced version, it shoots 1080p and 12 megapixel photos. Your camera micro SD card slot is right here. A micro SD card comes pre-installed with both aircrafts. Your photos and your videos are stored on this micro SD card. Now, your camera micro USB port is on this side. To download your photos and videos to your computer from your micro SD card, connect the included cable from this micro USB port to your computer. Your aircraft micro USB port is right here in the front. This is the micro USB port that lets you connect your Phantom to your computer for upgrades. Now your vibration dampeners. These vibration dampeners help stabilize your camera so your photos aren't shaky and your videos are smooth. This is the anti-drop kit to prevent the gimbal from detaching from the dampeners. Now your aircraft status indicators. The aircraft status indicators are the LEDs on the rear arms to tell you the aircraft status pre and during flight. And this is the intelligent flight battery. For now, let's just remove it and set it aside. So to remove the battery, press the tabs on the top and on the bottom and pull out slowly and smoothly. Just like that. Now, your vision positioning sensors are right here. The vision positioning sensors allow your Phantom 3 to hold its position when flying indoors and without a GPS signal. There are 2 sonic sensors and 1 monocular camera. Now remember, there are certain environments that may prevent the vision positioning system from functioning normally, such as moving patterns such as water or tall grass. Please see the user manual for more information on that. Your antennas. The aircraft's antennas are built into all 4 legs of the aircraft for optimal transmission. All right, let's take a look at the remote controller. The remote controllers for the Phantom 3 Advanced and the Phantom 3 Professional are the same. They both allow you to control your aircraft with a 2.4 gigahertz radio signal. All right, let's take a closer look. First, you have your power button, right here. Press the power button once to check your remote controller's battery status, like this. Press the button once, press again and hold to turn the remote controller on. Once, again and hold, and it's on. To turn the remote controller off, do the same thing. Press once, press again and hold, and it's off. Now your power port. It's located right here on the side of your remote controller. To charge the remote controller, simply insert the plug into the power port and then connect the charger to a power source. Here are your antennas. The antennas emit the 2.4 gigahertz digital radio signal that controls and transmits video from your aircraft. Now, by positioning the antennas up, you can maximize your aircraft range. Your mobile device holder, right here. Clamp your mobile device to your remote controller using the holder. And if you're using a smaller device, these small tabs on the side flip out. Now the clamp extends up by pressing this button. And you can just push down on the top to clamp down. Just like that. Now your control stick, right here. These sticks allow you to control your aircraft's altitude and lateral movements. Now we'll get into that in detail during the pre-flight video. On this side, you'll see your Return to Home button. Now the Return to Home button is a safety feature that lets you return your aircraft to its liftoff point automatically as long as there is a GPS signal. The LED behind the button indicates the status of Return to Home as it comes home. Battery level LEDs. These LEDs indicate the remote controller's battery status, and it will give you an audible warning once the voltage gets too low. Status LED. The status LED displays the remote controller status, red when not connected, and green when it is connected to the aircraft. On this side, you'll find your camera settings dial. To adjust camera settings, you can just turn this dial. For example, you can adjust your exposure during flight. Now remember, you should be connected to a mobile device running the DJI Pilot app in order to make use of this function. Right here is your playback button. If you want to playback captured images or videos, just click this button. A menu will pop up in the DJI Pilot app, and you can play back your images and videos. This is your shutter button. To take a photo, press the shutter button once. Now, in burst mode, which you can set, you can capture multiple photos with one press of that button. Now on this side, you'll find your flight mode switch. The Phantom 3 has 3 flight modes. P mode, which is GPS and vision positioning, A mode, which is attitude, and F mode, which is an advanced intelligent orientation control mode. The basic default setting is P mode, regardless of the position until the other functions are enabled in the DJI Pilot app. Here is your video recording button. Press this button to start and stop video recordings. And this is your gimbal dial. This gimbal dial lets you control the gimbal's tilt, so as you fly forward or backwards, you can track your subject by tilting down. On the back, your USB port. This port can be used to upgrade the firmware, as well as connecting to your mobile device with the DJI Pilot app. Now your back left and right buttons. These 2 buttons on the back of the remote controller are customizable and can be set using the DJI Pilot app. All right, that is the remote controller. Now let's take a look at the Intelligent Flight Battery. This is the Intelligent Flight Battery, which comes with both the Phantom 3 Advanced and Phantom 3 Professional. It is a 4-cell battery specifically designed to be paired with the new Phantom 3 motors for longer life and reliability. Now remember, before you start flying, read and remove this label. This is the power button. Press the power button once to check the battery status. Press the power button once, then again, and hold for 2 seconds to turn on the battery. Once, again and hold. Now press the power button once, press it again, and hold for 2 seconds to turn off the battery. On the front of the Intelligent Flight Battery are the battery level indicators. Now these tell you the amount of charge remaining in your battery, as well as charging status of the battery. Now charging port and charger. To charge the Intelligent Flight Battery, you just flip up the cover on the charge cable, just like this. Then, insert the prongs into the matching slots on the battery, just like this. Then connect the charger to a power source. All right, those are the main features of the Intelligent Flight Battery. Now let's take a look at the accessories box. Inside this bag, you'll find your propeller wrench. Use this to tighten your propellers. You'll also find a set of spare landing pads which go on the bottom of the landing gear in case you lose them. Also included are spare dampeners, which attach your gimbal to the aircraft. Also included is a spare anti-drop kit, which keeps the gimbal dampeners secure. Let's take a look at the propellers. There are 2 sets of 4 propellers. Let's take a look at one of the sets. Now each set comes with 2 black indicated propellers for clockwise rotation and 2 silver indicated propellers for counterclockwise rotation. Now we'll go over how to install these in the pre-flight video. And finally, let's take a look at the literature. There are 3 items inside the literature packet. You have safety guidelines and disclaimer, your quick start guide, and in the box. And for your user manual, please visit our website at www.dji.com. And please remember to read all of these documents before you begin to fly. Now, we've gone through all the items included in the Phantom 3 box. All right, let's take a look at the remote controller. The remote controllers for the Phantom 3 Advanced and the Phantom 3 Professional are the same. They both allow you to control your aircraft with a 2.4 gigahertz radio signal. All right, let's take a closer look. First, you have your power button, right here. Press the power button once to check your remote controller's battery status, like this. Press the button once, press again and hold to turn the remote controller on. Once, again and hold, and it's on. To turn the remote controller off, do the same thing. Press once, press again and hold, and it's off. Now your power port. It's located right here on the side of your remote controller. To charge the remote controller, simply insert the plug into the power port and then connect the charger to a power source. Here are your antennas. The antennas emit the 2.4 gigahertz digital radio signal that controls and transmits video from your aircraft. Now, by positioning the antennas up, you can maximize your aircraft range. Your mobile device holder, right here. Clamp your mobile device to your remote controller using the holder. And if you're using a smaller device, these small tabs on the side flip out. Now the clamp extends up by pressing this button. And you can just push down on the top to clamp down. Just like that. Now your control stick, right here. These sticks allow you to control your aircraft's altitude and lateral movements. Now we'll get into that in detail during the pre-flight video. On this side, you'll see your Return to Home button. Now the Return to Home button is a safety feature that lets you return your aircraft to its liftoff point automatically as long as there is a GPS signal. The LED behind the button indicates the status of Return to Home as it comes home. Battery level LEDs. These LEDs indicate the remote controller's battery status, and it will give you an audible warning once the voltage gets too low. Status LED. The status LED displays the remote controller's status, red when not connected, and green when it is connected to the aircraft. On this side, you'll find your camera settings dial. To adjust camera settings, you can just turn this dial. For example, you can adjust your exposure during flight. Now remember, you should be connected to a mobile device running the DJI Pilot app in order to make use of this function. Right here is your playback button. If you want to playback captured images or videos, just click this button. A menu will pop up in the DJI Pilot app, and you can play back your images and videos. This is your shutter button. To take a photo, press the shutter button once. Now, in burst mode, which you can set, you can capture multiple photos with one press of that button. Now on this side, you'll find your flight mode switch. The Phantom 3 has 3 flight modes. P mode, which is GPS and vision positioning, A mode, which is attitude, and F mode, which is an advanced intelligent orientation control mode. The basic default setting is P mode, regardless of the position until the other functions are enabled in the DJI Pilot app. Here is your video recording button. Press this button to start and stop video recordings. And this is your gimbal dial. This gimbal dial lets you control the gimbal's tilt, so as you fly forward or backwards, you can track your subject by tilting down. On the back, your USB port. This port can be used to upgrade the firmware, as well as connecting to your mobile device with the DJI Pilot app. Now your back left and right buttons. These two buttons on the back of the remote controller are customizable and can be set using the DJI Pilot app. All right, that is the remote controller. Now let's take a look at the Intelligent Flight Battery. This is the Intelligent Flight Battery, which comes with both the Phantom 3 Advanced and Phantom 3 Professional. It is a 4-cell battery specifically designed to be paired with the new Phantom 3 motors for longer life and reliability. Now remember, before you start flying, read and remove this label. This is the power button. Press the power button once to check the battery status. Press the power button once, then again, and hold for 2 seconds to turn on the battery. Once, again and hold. Now press the power button once, press it again, and hold for 2 seconds to turn off the battery. On the front of the Intelligent Flight Battery are the battery level indicators. Now these tell you the amount of charge remaining in your battery, as well as charging status of the battery. Now charging port and charger. To charge the Intelligent Flight Battery, you just flip up the cover on the charge cable, just like this. Then, insert the prongs into the matching slots on the battery, just like this. Then connect the charger to a power source. All right, those are the main features of the Intelligent Flight Battery. Now let's take a look at the accessories box. Inside this bag, you'll find your propeller wrench. Use this to tighten your propellers. You'll also find a set of spare landing pads which go on the bottom of the landing gear in case you lose them. Also included are spare dampeners, which attach your gimbal to the aircraft. Also included is a spare anti-drop kit, which keeps the gimbal dampeners secure. Let's take a look at the propellers. There are 2 sets of 4 propellers. Let's take a look at one of the sets. Now each set comes with 2 black indicated propellers for clockwise rotation and 2 silver indicated propellers for counterclockwise rotation. Now we'll go over how to install these in the pre-flight video. And finally, let's take a look at the literature. There are 3 items inside the literature packet. You have safety guidelines and disclaimer, your quick start guide, and in the box. Today, we'll be going over the pre-flight checklist for the Phantom 3 Advanced or the Phantom 3 Professional before your first flight. As we explained in the unboxing video, the only difference between the advanced version and the professional version is the camera. So for this tutorial, we'll be using the Phantom 3 Professional. Now, we highly recommend that you go through a checklist like this for any aircraft. Safety is an essential part of flying, and let's all do our part to keep us in the air. First, let's check the aircraft for any physical damage from a previous flight or damage during transportation. Now, once you've done that, let's check the items necessary for a day of flying. You should have your aircraft, 4 propellers, 2 with black indicators and 2 with silver indicators, the remote controller, an intelligent flight battery, a micro SD card if you plan on taking photos and videos, a lanyard if you prefer to hang your remote from your neck, and a mobile device. You have all these items? Great. Let's continue. Now, let's do a battery check to make sure everything is charged. Let's check our intelligent flight battery by pressing the power button once. Now, let's press the power button on the remote controller to check those battery levels. Now, check your mobile device and make sure you have enough battery for a full day of flying. If you're using your device for cellular usage, we recommend a backup battery to recharge your device in case you're traveling to a remote location. And make sure to download the DJI Pilot app from either the App Store or Google Play well in advance where Wi-Fi is available, and check to make sure it launches on your device. Now, before we do our electronics test, let's get the aircraft physically ready to fly. Let's now remove the warning labels from the motors. These are here for your protection, and you won't be needing them after you read the disclaimer. You can also now remove the gimbal clamp. Now, to check the electronics, let's install the mobile device onto the remote controller. Connect your USB cable and turn the remote on by pushing the power button once, pushing again, and holding. Once, again, and holding. And it's on. All right, let's turn on the aircraft by pushing the power button once, pushing again, and holding. When the aircraft turns on, the rear LEDs will begin cycling through flashes of red, green, and yellow. This indicates the aircraft is doing a self-check. The gimbal and camera will also do a self-check and turn in each direction before self-stabilizing. The aircraft will then go into warm-up mode and will flash a slow yellow. All right. Let's now launch the mobile app to make sure there is a picture. Now let's test and learn how to start and stop the motors with the propellers off. The remote controller uses a CSC, or combination stick command, to start and stop the motors. So to start the motors, pull both sticks down and in, just like this. This is commonly known as arming the motors. Once the motors have spun up, they will idle. Make sure the motors are spinning smoothly and there are no irregular sounds. If you hear any abnormal noises, shut down the motors and take your Phantom 3 to your nearest repair center. Okay, our motor test is now complete. Stop the motors by pulling the throttle or left stick down for more than 3 seconds, like this. Now let's turn off all of our electronics before installing the propellers, starting with the aircraft. Press the power button once, again and hold. Now the remote controller. Pressing the power button once, again and hold. And it's off. Now the first thing we want to do is check the propellers for any damage before installing them. Scratched or damaged propellers may be out of balance, and your Phantom 3 may not perform at peak efficiency. If they are damaged, make sure to replace them with a fresh set. Now, let me explain the basics of how the motors spin. The Phantom 3 is an X4 configuration, as there are 4 motors and they are in an X formation. For quadcopters such as the Phantom 3, the motors spin inward when they are facing forwards and backwards. The front right motor is motor 1. It spins in a counterclockwise direction. Notice it has a silver indicator. Let's match the propeller with the silver indicator to the motor with the silver threading. Now, spin the propeller clockwise and tighten by hand or use your propeller wrench. And tighten. All right, on to motor 2, which spins in a clockwise direction. Let's match the propeller with the black indicator to the motor with the black threading. Now, spin the propeller counterclockwise and tighten by hand or with your propeller wrench. And tighten. On to motor 3, the rear left motor, which spins in a counterclockwise direction. Let's match the propeller with the silver indicator to the silver threaded motor. Now, spin the propeller clockwise and tighten by hand or use your propeller wrench. And tight. And finally, the rear right motor, motor number 4, which spins in a clockwise direction. Let's match the propeller with the black indicator to the black threaded motor. Now spin the propeller counterclockwise and tighten by hand or with your propeller wrench. And it's tight. Now, for safety reasons, you can't install a black indicated propeller onto a silver threaded motor. Also, as the installation is in the opposite direction, it means that the propeller will tighten itself as the motor spins up. DJI has installed this extra safety feature so that you can fly worry-free with the knowledge that your propellers are secure. All right, we've now gone through our pre-flight checklist.
In today's video, we'll be going over the basics of flying and some important safety tips. And we'll be using the Phantom 3 Professional for this video. Before we fly, always remember that safety is an essential part of flying. Always be aware of your surroundings and know your local laws before launching your Phantom 3. Also, please read through the section on flying in the user manual and quick start guide before flying. Remember, even though your Phantom 3 can fly indoors using the vision positioning system, it's always best to fly outside in wide open spaces away from people and animals, buildings, and airports. Before you fly, observe your surroundings and go through this short checklist. Are you in an open space free of obstacles such as power lines? Are you flying in an area away from people or animals? Is the area free of buildings or other large obstructions? Also remember these important rules. Maintain control at all times, even if you're using functions such as auto takeoff, auto landing, and auto return to home. Always keep your hands on the remote controller and maintain control of your aircraft when it's in flight. Maintain line of sight of the aircraft and avoid flying behind buildings or other obstacles that may block your view. And always monitor your altitude. For the safety of full-sized aircraft and other air traffic, always fly at altitudes less than 400 feet or 120 meters above ground level. Orientation, goal, and flight basics. First, ensure that the aircraft is facing the correct direction. The front of the aircraft should face away from you. You can tell which is the front of the aircraft by the stickers on the front two arms of the Phantom 3. Okay, let's turn on the remote controller, your mobile device with the DJI Pilot app, and the aircraft. First, the remote controller. Turn on by pressing once, again, and holding. Now your mobile device. On. Now the aircraft. Turn it on by pressing once, again, and holding. Good. Now our goal today is to hover the aircraft and learn the basic maneuvers using the control sticks. So let's go over the controls again. Now the left stick controls altitude and yaw. The right stick controls pitch and roll. To go up in altitude, push the left stick up. To go down, pull the left stick down. To rotate left, push the left stick to the left. To rotate right, push the left stick to the right. To move forward, push the right stick forward. To move backward, pull the right stick backwards. To move left, push the right stick to the left. And to move right, push the right stick to the right. Now keep in mind that it's always a good idea to fly slowly with controlled movements. Okay, now that we've walked through the basics, let's practice. Calibrate the compass. Before you fly, you should always calibrate the compass when flying in a new location. Now, once you've powered on the aircraft, tap Camera in the DJI Pilot app.
Tap the status bar at the top center of the screen, then tap Calibrate, next to Compass, then tap OK.
Alternatively, if you do not have your mobile device, you can toggle the flight mode switch more than 10 times. And notice the aircraft status indicators hold a solid yellow, indicating that the compass is ready to be calibrated and that the aircraft is searching for a GPS signal. Now, hold and rotate the aircraft horizontally 360 degrees in a counterclockwise direction. The aircraft status indicators should be a solid yellow. When that is completed, the LED will turn a solid green. Now, hold the aircraft vertically with the nose pointing downwards and rotate the aircraft again 360 degrees in a counterclockwise direction. The aircraft status indicators should flash a quick green to indicate successful calibration. If the aircraft status indicators flash red and yellow alternately, it means that the calibration has failed. Move to a new position and recalibrate the compass. Once you have calibrated the compass, you can set the aircraft on a level surface
and wait for the aircraft to lock onto GPS signals. Once the aircraft has found GPS, the DJI Pilot app status bar will turn green and say, "Safe to fly." This also indicates that the aircraft has recorded the home point. Okay, now that we've calibrated the compass, let's fly. Hovering and moving. First, I'm going to rotate the aircraft so the orientation is the same out here as it will be for you at home, with the front facing away from you. Okay, first let's turn on the motors. Pull both sticks down and in. The motors will begin spinning. This is most commonly known as arming the motors. Now, to get the aircraft off the ground, push the left stick or throttle up. Now, once you have it at the desired height, return the stick to its neutral position. Notice that the aircraft will hover in place by itself, and the motors are in an idle state, waiting for your commands through the remote controller. All right, let's try out the control sticks. Now, when I push the left control stick up, the aircraft rises. When I pull the left control stick down, the aircraft lowers. By pushing the left control stick to the left, the aircraft will rotate to the left. And by pushing the left control stick to the right, the aircraft will rotate to the right. All right, now to the right control stick. To move the aircraft forward, push the right control stick forward. To move the aircraft backwards, pull the right control stick towards you. To move the aircraft to the left, push the right control stick to the left. And to move the aircraft to the right, push the right control stick to the right. And those are the basic movements. Okay, let's try landing. Pull the left control stick down slowly, but not all the way. Try not to lower your aircraft at high speeds. Now, just before your aircraft touches down, move the left control stick back to center position and let the aircraft hover. Then gently pull the left control stick all the way down for a nice soft landing. Now, to turn off the motors, pull the left stick down for more than 3 seconds until the motors stop. You've now completed your first flight. In today's video, we'll be talking about the fail-safe functions of the Phantom 3 and what actions you can take if the connection between your remote controller and the aircraft is interrupted, or if your Phantom 3 should run out of battery power during flight. We'll be using the Phantom 3 Professional for this video. Let's talk about what fail-safe is first. What is fail-safe? To ensure safety, a fail-safe function has been built into the Phantom 3, known as Return to Home, or RTH. Many factors contribute to connection disruption between remote controller and the Phantom, such as large hills, trees, structures, buildings, cell phone towers, or even power lines. It's always advisable to fly in areas free from heavy electromagnetic interference, whether you're flying outside or indoors. We're outside today to demonstrate the fail-safe function. Home point. Let's turn on our Phantom 3. Now, when the Phantom 3 powers on, it will go through a warm-up process and search for a GPS signal. If the signal is strong enough, a home point will be set. A home point is the location the Phantom 3 remembers as where it first took off. Make sure that there are minimal obstructions near the home point, such as trees or power lines, buildings, and other obstacles. Once the home point has been recorded, the aircraft status indicator will flash a slow green. Now,
should the signal between the remote controller and the aircraft be lost, the aircraft will automatically return to the home point and land. Now, let's talk about how the fail-safe function is activated. How is fail-safe, or return to home, activated? There are several ways the fail-safe function, also known as return to home, will be activated. The remote controller signal is lost for longer than 3 seconds. The aircraft flies out of range, or a low battery charge. In these instances, the fail-safe function will activate. Let's talk about each one. Fail-safe return to home. Known as fail-safe return to home, this mode is automatically activated if the signal from the remote controller to the aircraft is lost for more than 3 seconds. There are many reasons the signal may be lost. It may be because of interference or an obstacle, or the remote controller has been turned off or runs out of battery. This mode will activate if the aircraft flies out of range. Once return to home is activated, the aircraft will automatically fly back to the home point coordinates and land. In this mode, the aircraft cannot avoid obstacles in front of it. However, you can still control the aircraft's altitude when this function is activated. If the radio signal is restored and you can regain control of the aircraft, it is advisable that you do so. An extra safety feature you can set is the fail-safe altitude. By setting a fail-safe altitude in the DJI Pilot app, you have an extra layer of safety so that the aircraft can avoid any potential obstacles should fail-safe return to home be activated. Now, let's talk about how the fail-safe function is activated. Fail-safe when low battery. Low battery return to home will be activated when the aircraft's battery is nearly drained. There are 2 levels that will activate low battery return to home. The first is a low battery warning. The aircraft's battery is almost depleted and the aircraft status indicator will flash a slow red. Tap the return to home icon on the left-hand side of the camera screen in the DJI Pilot app to return the aircraft to the home point and land automatically. Press cancel to resume normal flight. If no action is taken, 10 seconds after the low battery warning sounds, the aircraft will return and land at the home point automatically. The second level of warning is the critical low battery level warning. At this point, the aircraft must land immediately. The aircraft status indicators will flash a fast red, and the aircraft will descend and land automatically. To counteract the descent, you must throttle up past 90% to keep the aircraft in the air. A warning will also appear in the DJI Pilot app, along with an audible alarm. You can also activate return to home manually at any time. This is known as Smart Return to Home. If for any reason you want the aircraft to return to the home point, just press and hold the Smart Return to Home button on your remote controller. To cancel, just press the button again. Remember, in this mode, you can control the aircraft's altitude to avoid collision. You also have the option to set the height and radius to limit where and how high your aircraft can fly. These are the fail-safe features for your Phantom 3. Although there are safeguards built into the aircraft, it is your responsibility to keep up to date with international and domestic airspace rules and regulations before using the aircraft. Educate yourself on the current regulations and fly safe.
We'll start with course lock. First, what does the course lock mode do? When you turn on course lock, the current heading of your aircraft will be used to lock navigation. Pushing the right stick forward will now always move the aircraft in the same direction, no matter how the aircraft is orientated. This is how you turn on course lock mode. Power on the aircraft and connect your mobile device to the remote controller. Open the DJI Go app and tap Enter Camera View to connect to the aircraft. Take off the aircraft in PGPS mode and toggle the switch to F mode. A notification asking if you want to enable multiple flight modes will pop up. tap to confirm. In the next screen, a new notification saying, "Adjust the heading of your aircraft and apply course lock." The forward direction will be fixed until you reset it or exit course lock mode will pop up. Adjust the orientation of the aircraft according to the direction you want to lock it to. Tap Apply to enable course lock mode. When course lock is activated, pushing the navigation stick forward will always move the aircraft in the same direction, no matter how the aircraft is orientated. Use the flight mode switch on the remote controller to exit the intelligent flight mode. Next, we'll look at the home lock mode. What does home lock mode do? When you turn on home lock mode, the aircraft can easily be navigated back to the home point by pulling the right stick backwards, no matter the current location and orientation of the aircraft. So, how do we turn on home lock? Fly the aircraft at least 5 meters away from the home point under PGPS mode. Then turn the flight mode switch to F mode. The Intelligent Flight Modes menu will appear. Choose Home Lock. A notification saying, in Home Lock mode, pulling the right stick back will move the aircraft towards the home point will pop up. Pull the right stick backwards, and the aircraft will fly back in a straight line and hover at a position 5 meters from the home point. Tap Apply to enable Home Lock mode. The aircraft will hover in place when it reaches a position 5 meters from the home point. Move the right stick towards the left or right, and the aircraft will circle around the home point. Use the flight mode switch on the remote controller to exit the intelligent flight mode. First, what does the Follow Me mode do? When Follow Me mode is turned on, the aircraft will follow the pilot from a constant distance. This is how you turn on Follow Me mode. Power on the aircraft and connect your mobile device to the remote controller. Open the DJI Go app and tap Enter Camera View to connect to the aircraft. Take off the aircraft in PGPS mode and toggle the switch to F mode after you have reached an altitude of more than 10 meters. A notification asking if you want to enable multiple flight modes will pop up. Tap to confirm. Choose Follow Me mode, and a notification will remind you that the aircraft will move at a fixed distance from the pilot in Follow Me mode and display the altitude of the aircraft. Set the home point as My Position or Origin. If the GPS signal of your mobile phone is sufficiently strong and the aircraft's altitude is above 10 meters, you can confirm the distance between the aircraft and the pilot and the aircraft's flight altitude by tapping Apply. The aircraft will follow the subject while keeping a constant distance and altitude. If the distance between the subject and the aircraft increases by more than 200 meters from the set distance, the aircraft will stop and hover in the air. toggle the flight mode switch to exit the intelligent flight mode. First, what is point of interest? When this mode is enabled, the aircraft will circle around the point of interest, POI, that you have set. This is how you use the point of interest mode. Power on the aircraft and connect your mobile device to the remote controller. Open the DJI Go app and tap Enter Camera View to connect to the aircraft. Take off the aircraft in PGPS mode and toggle the switch to F mode. A notification asking you if you want to enable multiple flight modes will pop up. Tap to confirm. The Intelligent Flight Modes menu will appear. Select Point of Interest, and a notification saying, "Fly the aircraft above a subject of interest and set that position as the point of interest" will be displayed. Fly the aircraft above the point of interest at an altitude of at least 5 meters. After setting the point of interest, a notification will show the aircraft will circle the POI at a slow speed. You can manually adjust the circling radius, altitude, and speed by moving the control sticks or by adjusting the sliders. Now, navigate the aircraft at least 5 meters away from the point of interest. You can use the slider to set circling speed and direction. The app will automatically calculate the time it takes for the aircraft to complete a circle around the POI. Tap Apply. A new notification will show. The aircraft will return to the home point if low battery RTH is triggered. Set a suitable return to home altitude to safeguard your aircraft. The default return to home altitude is 35 meters. You can manually set this according to the real flight environment. Tap Apply to turn on Point of Interest mode. The aircraft will circle around the point of interest with preset radius and speed. You can also use the remote controller to control the aircraft. Push the left stick forward or backward to change the circling altitude. The nose of the aircraft will point towards the POI by default. Push the left stick left or right to change the direction of the aircraft's flight. Push the right stick forward or backward to change the circling radius. The gimbal dial on the remote controller can be used to control the gimbal pitch. Push the right stick left or right to change circling speed. Use the flight mode switch on the remote controller to exit the intelligent flight mode. First, what does the Waypoints mode do? Waypoints is the intelligent flight mode that lets you record waypoints to create a mission. When you run the mission, the aircraft will autonomously travel between the recorded waypoints. This is how you turn on Waypoints mode. Power on the aircraft and connect your mobile device to the remote controller. Open the DJI Go app and tap Enter Camera View to connect to the aircraft. Take off the aircraft in PGPS mode and toggle the switch to F mode. A notification asking you if you want to enable multiple flight modes will pop up. Tap to confirm. Choose Waypoints mode. Another notification will pop up saying, select an existing route or begin to record a new one. We will now record the waypoints for our first mission. Tap New Mission, and a notification will ask you to record the waypoints. Max radius 500 meters. Max path length 5,000 meters. Unlike the Phantom 2 Vision Plus ground station app, the Waypoints mode in the DJI Go app can record the real-time location of the aircraft. Fly your aircraft to the first waypoint and tap Record C1, and the app will record the first location and the heading of the aircraft. Navigate the aircraft to the next location and set it as the second waypoint. The distance between neighboring waypoints should be more than 5 meters. Please set appropriate aircraft speed to avoid crash. You can tap Delete C2 to delete previously set waypoints. When you have finished setting all the waypoints, tap Done. The app will pop up a notification saying, "Fly the aircraft to the first waypoint," before starting the mission. You can choose between 3 modes for the aircraft's heading while it is running through the mission: Consistent with Record, Consistent with Route, and Free. You can also set what the aircraft will do after finishing the mission: hover or return to home. The slider can be used to set the speed of the aircraft. Press Apply after flying the aircraft to the first waypoint or confirming that there are no obstacles between the aircraft and the first waypoint. The app will pop up a notification saying the aircraft will return to the home point if low battery RTH is triggered. Set a suitable return to home altitude to safeguard your aircraft, and set the default return to home altitude to 30 meters. You can set the return to home altitude according to the surroundings and activate the mission by tapping Apply. The aircraft will fly to the first waypoint and start the mission. You can push the right stick up or down to adjust cruise speed. You can also tap Pause to halt the aircraft. After completing the mission, the aircraft will hover or return to home according to our prior configuration. Tap the star to save the mission to your favorite missions. Or use the flight mode switch on the remote controller to exit the intelligent flight mode.
The library of the DJI Go app has a series of powerful features for managing, editing, and sharing videos and photos. There are multiple templates to use to edit your videos and music tracks to add, and you can adjust brightness, saturation, and contrast to create professional videos in a few easy steps. Before you start recording a video, remember to make sure that there is enough storage space on your mobile device. The DJI Go app will automatically store the real-time HD video in the mobile device's memory while shooting, so that you can immediately edit and share it. If you need the recorded, high-quality RAW video, you can download the original video from the camera to your mobile device by clicking the download icon on the library page. If you've recorded a 4K video, you'll need to transfer the video from the camera to your computer by inserting the camera's SD card into your computer, or by using a card reader, or by connecting the camera directly via USB cable. Now let's start by extracting a shorter clip from a selected video. Go to the library to see your videos listed in chronological order under Original Footage. Select a clip and start playback. You'll now see a box show up on the timeline. If you click the scissor icon, a 6-second clip of the selected part of the video will be extracted. You can change the duration of the clip by tapping and dragging the side of the box. The clip can be between 6 and 60 seconds in length. After extracting a clip, choose Save. The clip will then be stored in your library. If you wish to create an HD video, you can tap Convert to HD in the bottom left corner while your mobile device is connected to the camera. The original footage stored on the camera will then be used to create a new video in HD format. If you're not happy with the extracted clip, you can easily delete it by tapping the box. You can extract multiple clips from the same video, or extract clips from different videos. Next, let's look at how you can edit extracted clips. First, select the clip you want to edit. When you tap the bottom right corner of any clip to tick it, you'll see a download icon, a create movie icon, and dustbin. Tap again or tap cancel to deselect the clip. Tap the clip and it will automatically begin to play. You can adjust the speed of playback by adjusting the slider in the bottom right corner. You can select multiple clips to edit in the same way. Select the clips by tapping the bottom right corner of the clips to tick those you want to select. And you'll see the download icon, create movie icon, and dustbin. You can tap again or tap cancel on the top left of the screen to deselect the clips. Tap the clip and it will automatically begin to play. You can adjust the speed of playback by adjusting the slider in the bottom right corner. Next, we'll edit the selected clips. Tap the ticked clips and then Create Movie. The selected clips will be listed on the timeline, and you can change the order of the clips by dragging them to a different position. You can remove a clip from the movie by holding and dragging it to the dustbin icon. You can add an additional clip by clicking the plus icon on the right. You can choose a template to use for creating your movie. Take the first template, Forest, for example. The music included is called Forest, and the number of clips is 8, and the total duration 60 seconds. Different templates have different music, number of clips, and duration. If you tap the star icon, you can add a watermark to the video showing location, author, and date. You can also tap any clip on the timeline and enter the Edit page to do advanced editing of the clip. You can adjust playback speed, brightness, saturation, and contrast for the clip to create the exact look you want. Follow the same steps to edit and save the rest of the clips. Drag the clip onto the timeline and choose the section you want to keep. Then click Save at the top right. If you're satisfied with your movie, then click the Save icon at the top right, and it will be saved to the library on your device. Finally, go ahead and click the play icon to enjoy the movie you've just created. Name your movie, add a description, or tag it to make it easily searchable on skypixel.com. You can also upload it to the SkyPixel aerial photography community or share it on social media. After uploading your video, you can click the share icon to post it on Facebook or other social media. how easy it is to share your videos with friends and family.
Visit the official DJI website, dji.com, and go to the Phantom 3 product page. Click the download page and download the latest firmware update package. Ensure there is at least 100 megabytes of free space on the micro SD card. Extract the downloaded files. You can also refer to the included PDF file for step-by-step directions on updating the firmware. Copy the file with the extension bin into the root directory of the SD card. Updating the flight controller. Please remove the propellers before updating the firmware. Insert the micro SD card into the micro SD card slot on the Phantom's camera. Do not power off the aircraft during the update. Power on the aircraft. The update will begin automatically. It will take a maximum of 25 minutes to complete the update. The gimbal will emit a beeping sound when it is ready to update. Please wait until the sound changes. The gimbal will emit a fast beeping sound when the update is in progress. Please wait until the sound changes. Disregard the LED indicator or any sounds from other modules, as they do not reflect the status of progress of the firmware update. The gimbal will emit a slow beeping sound when the update is complete. When the update is complete, you must restart the aircraft manually. If the gimbal emits a long beeping sound, this means the update has failed. Restart the aircraft and the automatic firmware repair process will begin. The process is complete when the gimbal stops emitting the long beeping sound. You can also remove the micro SD card to check the final status of the update. Open the text file that is automatically generated after the update. Result success means the update was successful. Updating the remote controller. Ensure that the remote controller's battery has at least 50% remaining power. Do not power off the remote controller during the update. The remote controller's firmware is included in the update package downloaded from the official DJI website. Insert the micro SD card into a card reader and plug the reader into the remote controller's USB port. Power on the remote controller and wait 20 seconds until the update begins. The remote controller will begin updating automatically. A beeping sound and the remote controller status LED will indicate the progress and status of the update. The update is in progress when the status LED is blue and the remote controller emits a fast beeping sound. The update is complete when the status LED turns green and the remote controller emits a slow beeping sound. Restart the remote controller. If the status LED is red and no sound is heard, the update has failed. Restart the remote controller and the automatic firmware repair process will begin. Wait 5 minutes and then restart the remote controller again. The process is complete if no sound is heard. The beeping sound may stop and start during the update. Do not power off the remote controller. It will take a maximum of 10 minutes to complete the update. You can also remove the micro SD card to check the final status of the update. Open the text file that is automatically generated after the update. Result success means the update was successful. Updating the remote controller without a thumb drive or micro SD card reader. Insert the micro SD card into the camera. Plug one end of the USB cable into the remote controller's USB port. Plug the other end into the micro USB port of the gimbal. Power on the remote controller. Power on the aircraft. Wait approximately 20 seconds. The remote controller will begin updating automatically. Note: do not turn off the remote controller during the update. When the update is complete, restart the remote controller. Turn off the aircraft. Turn off the remote controller. Remove the USB cable. Restart the remote controller and the aircraft. Open the DJI Pilot app to check if the firmware has been updated.